Alright, sorry girl.
No, we're looking for time. Don't get nervous. My thing
See? Yeah, everybody. You the sad or everybody? He's the saddest man walking.
Yeah, trust me. Hit the side.
No, I'm trying to pull up. Did you see it?
I can't.
Oh, so you showed me.
You seen it?
Yeah.
Me either.
I
said I did.
I did.
You want to go?
Yeah. So I found out about that. I'm doing
You know, but
they were giving me for $16 a month. No, because now
everybody saw it. I did. I saw it.
that's my favorite part.
Don't talk about that.
You got his little leg back on
All right, y'all, we about to get started. And thank y'all for everybody who came out. First of all, let me start with that. Thank y'all. Let's clap for y'all. As Chief knows, this is the biggest one we had yet, right? And to get this many people who do the same thing in one room, I think it's phenomenal. And that look like us.
Yes.
So let me just clap that one more time for that. So y'all, and the coach probably gonna kill me for this one. We don't have the formats per usual, but it's a conversation, right? And as y'all know, as professionals, you know what I'm saying, the conversation is gonna organically grow. But one thing I did want to harp on tonight, and sorry for Teeth and my man right here, because they have not seen Sinners yet. Has anybody not seen Sinners yet?
Yeah.
Y'all haven't seen it? Don't say that.
Don't spoil it.
All right, I ain't ruin it.
Don't ruin it.
I ain't ruin it, but I do want to talk about the thing about Sinners that talks about how music connections and whatnot. I'll talk about podcasts and storytelling connections and whatnot. And I'll use it for all switches in our podcast, talk about our different styles, okay? So that's the one thing to talk about, and whatever comes from that, like T already know, we're going to organically have a conversation from there.
All right.
So I do want to go around, when we get started, everybody introduce themselves, their podcast, you know what I'm saying? And we'll go from there.
All right.
And time out. And y'all not saving the back. I want
out for me.
Bree, I want everybody off to the side too, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all got y'all things too and whatnot. So y'all started off.
He's switching the room.
Yeah, no, because like I need everybody to know how dope Bree is. And Jamar and everybody who does they support podcasts too. That's another thing or whatnot. You gotta forget about that.
Yeah, I kick it off.
Okay.
Everybody in this room, we can work. Let's work. Because what we do is we help to strategize, we help to identify who you are as a brand, and then we help to carry that out. It's dissemination. So we create the plan and we walk the plan up and we do the deliverables. So it's soup to nuts for us, Pauls. But it's really like we develop and then we help to distribute. So it's all about marketing for us. So as Launcharts, welcome. Happy to host this event. So.
Come on, come on.
Okay, my name is Kevin Taylor, and in the same space with him, I am everybody's cheerleader. You know, like I just want to see everybody from Cleveland win, black folks specifically. Sorry. And so I'm a filmmaker in Cleveland. I'm an audio and visual producer, creator. My background is I was in music for 100 years, and I've been in film for 100 years. So that's 200 if you count.
But the sun is up.
Give me some props, man. Feature films, feature length films.
Yeah.
So nothing to play with. Film festivals, like full premieres, like gifted and talented.
Just like him, though, I'm willing to work with everybody. I hate that Cleveland has built up this kind of background that we work in silos. We need to work together. We
Come
need
on
to
now.
build together.
I keep that thing on me, brother. Don't start with me.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Oh, I keep it on.
They come back there.
And I'll say this, and I'll land the plane, as they say, but there was a certain comedian, we're not gonna say his name, no energy, but that conversation that he tried to have, that's garbage to me, because most of what you see in Hollywood kind of came out of this space right here. If you look at all the people that come and build in Hollywood, so a lot of it comes from this area. So I just want to continue that legacy. And you know, we don't have to speak on them. We can just do our thing, and then that'll speak for itself.
Come on, Bree.
I'm Bria. I'm a media producer. I'm passionate about helping other creatives keep their creative fire lit. That's kind of like my whole thing, and being able to produce with and for people is like my method of doing that. So happy to be here, and like you said, I mean, the first word I think of when I think of Cleveland is collaboration. Thanks to many of you guys in this room, and so yeah, I'm excited.
All right, Bree.
No, come on, go Sensei.
Steve Jackson, also known as Photographer Jackson or Alien, coming from the music and poetry background. But I'm also a creative director for the Pull Up Experience, the fastest growing podcast.
Come on,
Right.
I
Steve.
speak with podcasts.
All right.
Also work with Jamar at Launcharts, Vice President of Media Production. We got the leadership team. I know they're off to the side, but you know we all put this.
Can I need some chairs?
But yeah, also started Alien Eyes Photos Photography, and then started the podcast Alien Eyes Photos Industry Talk to kind of market my business. So yeah, that's all.
All right.
Come on now.
What you do, Juan?
I'm Juan Carlos. I'm really just here to support you. I'm an IT professional at a law firm.
His credentials and all of that. Very, very, very accomplished individual.
Yeah.
You can ask him, walk up to him and ask him. It's like my brother. We've been best friends for 20, 25 years.
Wow.
We in the crowd now.
Oh.
Y'all want to say something weird? Okay. I'm good.
I am Tiffany, aka Hips the model, military veteran, IT. Also, my background is IT and animal care. And I guess you could say I'm creative. I love to venture out with different interests and community work, huge one, volunteering, and meeting new people. So I'm glad to be here tonight. Thank you.
For the podcast,
Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you.
I'll do it all again.
My turn? All right, my name is Dwight Hendricks, only scoundrel, creator of Scoundrels Only Clothing, one half of the Creative Mindset, as well as the creator and creative director of Dream Architects Media. I specialize in wedding films, but I'm like doing a little bit of everything because I'm working to pivot and do more work with other businesses.
Come on now.
Thank y'all for having me here. No, I do wedding films.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Denise Ann Sumbry. I'm the host of the Maven podcast. It is a well-being podcast that focuses on well-being, meaning holistically, financial, emotional, spiritual, mental health. Maven means one who understands, and I sit down and have conversations with leaders, healers, creatives, entrepreneurs, and allow them to share their story to help the collective. You know, a lot of people tell you to do the work, but not necessarily how to do the work. And folks who listen and tune into the Maven podcast actually, take away strategies and tools to support their journey. Outside of the Maven podcast, I'm a spiritual teacher and writer. I help people heal the past, honor their present, and co-create their future.
Come on.
My name's Camera Archie. I help produce the podcast Calm Combos with Jules Page. She's not here tonight, so I guess I'm speaking on it for her. But she talks about mental health and like raising children with a mindful and practical focus. And we're also working on a podcast called The Fucks for Lunch. And we talk about lunch and food and facts about food.
Look out for that. That's a dope title. What the fuck's for lunch?
Yeah, it's designed for you to listen while you're eating lunch.
I'm Nicole. I'm an author, blogger, writer, speaker. I have a hybrid book publishing company where we help baby authors manifest their book publishing dreams. And I'm the host of the Girl Talk podcast, which features female leaders. We create a safe space for inner dialogue and healing and manifest community impact. So.
Yeah.
All right.
First and foremost, thank you all for having me here. My name is Donovan Atterbury. I'm the ED of Men in the Den. It's an intergenerational healing space for Black men where we have tier groups that mentor the youth. We actually just met with our first mentee yesterday. I'm also one half of the Creative Mindset, which is a derivative of Men in the Den, to talk about artist creativity, however that you choose to funnel your art, and how it incorporates with mental health. So we all have burnout, we all experience different things that motivated our work positively and negatively. So that's what we like to talk about on our podcast.
My name is Marcel Deere, also known as Marcus Storm. I'm a rapper, songwriter, podcaster, entrepreneur, and host of my podcast, Sip and Chill. Love music. My podcast is about music, the culture, while we all sip wine and have a good time. Also, when I'm not doing music, I'm usually performing. I'm going around at like every place like Akron, Columbus, all around to perform and do my music and perform and entertain others, because that's what I just love to do. But also, when I'm not doing that, I'm working as a mental health advocate with my organization, Alpha Phi Alpha, but also I'm a banker on the side as well.
Hi, I'm Sharon. My brand is Sharon Stories. I'm originally from Sri Lanka, and I've been in US for about 18 years, and I've gone through this process of kind of going deep down into the labels and everything that I've accumulated over time, culture, whatever. And I realized that because I've started journaling and creating and music and all these other stuff, videography, I've come to realize who I really am. And I've given up on all these other labels that anybody, racism, all that crap that has given me. And around the time I kind of realized my brand is to tell these stories and help people create. I started a podcast called the Creative Odyssey Podcast with my co-host, and there we really dig down into the creative process, understanding the roadblocks of what happens in that process, and half the time the blocks that comes for creativity is like your own childhood and everything that has happened to you. So it's been a fun journey, and I'm really happy to be here. Thank you, Steve, for the invite. Yeah, it's been an awesome time.
We gonna be on record. So you want me to tell you everything I do?
Might as well.
So, my name is Eric. People know me as EJ Briz. I am one half of the Thought Ops with my co-host here. I'd like to thank you all, you Cleveland folks. I'm originally from Akron.
Come on.
So me and my co-host, we were podcasting at the Extreme Compound, but now we at Day Before Collections. I'm a certified community health worker. I have my own clothing line, which I design shirts. I do all our flyers, all our artwork, and that's. I just recently started my separate podcast called Life on Diagonal. It's basically talking about my life. I lived on the street in Akron called Diagonal. So my mom passed away in July. So this is kind of like an ode to my mom, talking about my life, my rocky relationship with my father, family members getting kidnapped, being shot at, and stuff like that. So yeah, a whole bunch of interesting stuff.
Life on
Hey, my name is Terrence Glave, also known as Steel Biz. I am the other host of Thought Ops. I'm not on Life on Diagonal. I am not originally from Cleveland. I'm originally from Jamaica. That was a long time ago.
Wagwan.
Not a kind. But I've been here since I was 8, so Cleveland killed my accent. But yeah, so I do the other half of the podcast, Thought Ops. We did start off at we started at my house, then we went to the street compound. Then we're at Day Before Studios. I do a lot of things in the comedy sector of Cleveland. We just started doing comedy shows at DF Collections, and it's like really been successful. So I started doing comedy. I do things in writing in Cleveland. I do a lot of ghost writing. I've written for the Leg, Tubi Show, through Dame Dash. I've written for the Cap. I used to have another show back in the day with Nancy Nay. We did a podcast. I do a lot in the city, and I probably never really talk about all the stuff I do. Yeah. But so I just feel like people say, if you do stuff, talk about it, because that actually builds your brand and actually can help somebody else. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you guys should pass around a donation.
It's like church in here though.
Yeah. Hey Brandon, close that door. Oh yeah, my father is a preacher too, so I know about closing the door. But yeah, so I want to thank y'all for having me, and I'm just finding out about Life on Diagonal. I was thinking I'm joking. I know about it, and I'm the one who always tells him to announce it. As you know, Eric is real quiet about it, but I feel like that part of your life is an important part. And everybody that have shows together go and do other stuff and then go back to their show. Everybody on the Breakfast Club ain't just on the Breakfast Club. Right. You know I'm saying? They on dinner clubs and everything else. So.
But we support each other. So whatever he doing with his comedy shows and everything, I'm behind the scenes, working on that. And then, with whatever I'm doing, he support me. So we support each other, even though we do separate things.
As I'm trying not to fall, Scotty, go ahead and stand up. We are the King TV Network. We've been around going on 4 years now. I am King Teeth. I've been podcasting for about almost 6 years, I want to say. Brandon, how long have you been out there? 4. Okay, yeah, No. I really just want to thank Brandon for just putting these together, because we really started 2 years ago, just trying to bring people together and try to show Cleveland that we can, and it's important, and we can have a good time, and we can go home, and be safe. So I just want to thank you, Brandon, for continuing this, because for me, life been crazy, and you make sure ish get done. No Jackson. And you really don't get your flowers, but ever since you got that award, you've been acting different.
work. We actually, speaking of the Breakfast Club, I kind of grew up on the Breakfast Club. I just turned 29, so for me it was just about impacting the culture, impacting the people in the culture. I felt like the vibe was off. If anybody knows my father, he was in the culture for a long time, and it was just like ups, downs. People had great years, people had bad years, and I just want to see the city have a smile on its face. So for me, it was just about being in the culture and being a light in a lot of dark places. So that's what we try to do. We try to show up and show out anywhere we go, and just, you know, give light and then go home, because I gotta go to work. But yeah, that's us, and yeah, we're coming up on our 4th year on May 20th.
That's what's up.
And we're just gonna keep going and keep striving to be the best that we can be, and help the culture be the best it can be.
All right.
I'm Scotty. I'm with the King's Heath Network. That's been my friend since I met him through my best friend in high school. What year was that, like 2016 or something? So I knew him for about a decade.
That was like 2012.
2012? Time flies by. Time flies by. But it all started when, you know, just doing a favor for my friend. He had a vision. He said, hey, I really want to start something. And so as a friend, you know, and just seeing the passion and the drive that he has, it just encouraged me, just like we try to encourage our audience and everybody around us, everybody in all communities, not just in Ohio, not just in Cleveland, but everywhere across the world. And so I do videography, I manage the audio, keep the files together, edit the videos, you know, just anything I can do to keep the network pushing in the right direction and help my friend help us grow. That's really what I'm here to do, and not just with him, but just with everybody in this room, because like we said, we done collaborate with just about everybody in this room for a number of years, and that's what we want to continue to do, and really make that a staple, not only in the city, for us in the city, but make it a staple for us in the city to get out the city, out the state, out the country, out into the world, and it just all starts with us right here. It really starts right here, and that's really why I'm here. So thank you all for being here. Thank everybody in here. We're gonna work together, and we're gonna do amazing things because we're amazing people.
That's
right.
What's going on, everybody? I'm True Nation. I want to be able to take off podcast, talk show. I got a question for everybody, right? How many people in here has a dream? Raise their hand.
Has a what?
Have a dream.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody have a dream? Well, at the Midwest Takeoff, we try to elevate your voices and launch your careers. And so whatever your dreams may be, we want to put you into the universe with the other stars. So we want to see you guys elevate your voices. And I get joy off of seeing you rise into stardom. That's what we create. That's what we're about. Me and my co-host, Tracy Sims, shout out to her. And we do that at Breakthrough Sign. Shout out to them. Thank you.
All right. Awesome and amazing day, you all. My name is Nikki B. I'm the host of VIP with Nikki B, where we see the victory in people, but most importantly, we want you all to see the victory in yourself. So that's my podcast there. Then myself and Lawrence, we have a podcast together called Doing Relationship Right. Finally, right? Finally. And then also I'm the co-host of Futureland 365, where we highlight Cleveland's creatives, innovators, and technical people, all those good things. So, yeah. And that's actually on WOVU every Friday, 1 o'clock. And we also are on all of the streaming platforms, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, all those things. And the same with my podcast, but myself and Lawrence, that podcast is on YouTube. So, yep.
Well, I am Lawrence D. Adams. I have a podcast I've been doing since 2007, and it's called The Thinking Class. And it's geared towards men between 25 to 45, and it's when spirituality and the game combines. So I bring the spiritual side, but I also bring the street smarts together so that a man can be the best version of himself, first for himself, and then for anyone else. So I've been doing that because I wanted to give back to the next generation. The things that I learned, the failures that I had, the wins that I had, and I wanted them to grow. I have touched men from around the world with my podcast, and I'm still growing. And this is actually, I call it my coming out in Cleveland. I've been in Cleveland for off and on, New York, Cleveland, Atlanta, but this is my time to actually shine in Cleveland, let everybody know who I am. But I've been doing it since 2007. This is, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Your claps be so loud.
I know. Church clap. My bad. And I got that clap. Hey, stop that. I got that clap. No, I've been sitting here the last 20 minutes trying to articulate how proud I am to have everybody here tonight. Like, seriously. See, we're going to the stadium next time.
No, for real.
Like for real. I to have y'all out on Thursday night, and y'all, you know, it's a school night, you know, we just come together to talk about what we do best in the city and just show, like my man said earlier, Cleveland can come together. And nothing else, they seen this room with us. So I want to thank y'all once again for coming out. We have a good time.
They didn't really tell too much about you. You're the ones that's new, though.
You gotta get a fee to do that.
You know what? I'm gonna stay out of it.
Okay, my bad. My name is Brent Gates. I have a podcast with some extraordinary people who are in this room right now who helped make the podcast great. It's called Public Experience. If you haven't heard of it,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You know, but no, it's serious though. And I love the fact that this is the first time I met a lot of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I thought I met everybody. I'm like, oh, yeah, me too. I meet you. And then I am really extraordinarily proud of tonight. So, yeah.
How y'all doing? My name is Simeon. I am 1/2. That's how you say it. My bad, I ain't even meant to talk. No, my name is Simeon, and I am 1/3 of Here to Inspire podcast, where we talk about faith, family, film, all things creative, and everything in between. We have a litany of different type of guests. We have a litany of different guests from political to entertainment to creative to homeless. No, we ain't had no homeless people yet. Anyways, we've had a lot of people that are just. Everybody has a story, and what we like strive to do is see what makes somebody live out their dreams. We love to see what makes somebody fight the fight that they're in, or what makes them be the person that they are, and it is truly inspiring. I'm surprised every time on the show, like you can literally see me like, hey, you really be going through it, or like you really. Like, you are inspiring me right now to go out and do more. And I wouldn't expect it because we're not in the same industry, you know? That's the power of connectivity and collaboration. I heard it said collaboration is a force multiplier, meaning like it's multiplied. Like our force, like us as Cleveland, we have the ability to push the needle, as we always have. Like legends come from Cleveland, we know this. So we have the ability to push the needle further than it's ever been pushed before, and I'm glad to be a part of that.
So I am Drew Benton. I do production on the Here to Inspire podcast, so you know he gave a pretty thorough overview. So I'm a filmmaker, creative director, writer in the city. Do a lot of creative projects, films, short films, series, content, stuff like that. I really just try to, work with as many people as I can and help, tell their vision and make their stuff come to life. So I've had the opportunity to work with a bunch of creatives, and I just enjoy what I do. This is like my life, so I'm happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
Real quick, this my brother. He's a little bit too humble. One of the greatest videographers. He ain't gonna say it. One of the greatest videographers. One of the greatest videographers, cinematographers. Y'all go see Sinners right here. This guy is like that, incredible. Him and Abel, who is also the other host who is in South Korea right now, actually present the film. I ain't nothing. Compared, like, I'm a writer, producer, like, I'm a filmmaker, I could think it all up, but them behind the camera is
They do it.
magic. It's crazy. So
I need your card. I need your card.
I got you. Yeah, we gonna connect for sure. Cause I heard you, I was like, I gotta connect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Collaboration.
Okay, my name is Kayla. Y'all can call me K Rose. I had my own podcast for about 4 years. It was called K Talk Radio, and then I switched it to Back to Reality Podcast. I did take a break for like a year, but I'm gonna come back probably this year, this summer. But I am an intern at Launcharts here. So, yeah.
Hi everybody, so my name is Kayla Monique and I go by the Unshattered Adoptee, and by the title I am an adoptee. I did spend a little time in foster care. Since then I have reunited with my birth family. So I'm launching my very first podcast at the end of this month called Unshattered Adoptee. And basically it's a safe space where community and family goes hand in hand to amplify the voices of adoptees, foster youth, and also pregnant teens in the system, because I was also a teen mom as well. So the goal is to eventually develop my nonprofit and have not group homes, but forever homes for at-risk foster youth.
Oh, my pitch, man. Y'all doing it.
Every one of them.
And shout out to my girl Kayla. We actually go way back, like 4 flats on the Cadillac. And I am so thrilled for your podcast. I can't wait.
You inspired me for real.
Well, thank you. And thank all of y'all. My name is Brittany. I have, well, matter of fact, I'm co-host with this fool on the Pull Up Experience. Get to meet phenomenal people. I've met quite a few of you guys from the podcast, or if not, looking forward to it. Also have my own podcast, Beauty Told. It's a relationship podcast where I basically have guests on. I prefer to have men on, but females too. But we take relationship topics, we expound on them, and the overall goal is to have healthier relationships. So if you can be able to have a positive change from our stories, we know it was a story well told on Beauty Told. So that's pretty much it, y'all.
I hate that I was the last person. My name is Michelle Gates, and if y'all watch the Pull Up Experience, you have heard my name, Michelle Louise. I am the producer, I'm the producer of the Pull Up Experience. I'm also a virtual assistant for MJM Virtual Services. I do scheduling, all kind of admin stuff virtually. What else I do?
Why are you being humble? Let me talk about
because I like to be behind the scenes. I don't do all this. This is not me.
So listen, in all honesty, y'all got a podcast. Y'all want to take our podcast to turn to a business, because follow up guests, scheduling guests, actually getting the guests there. She does all that.
That's crazy.
And then some. So y'all want to talk about what helped the full experience take the next level? It was her. Because I was booking people. I love it. It was all bad. You know what I'm saying?
It really was.
Louise came along. right. And she took it there. So anybody, you know what I'm saying? Listen, book Michelle Louise, y'all.
That's all right.
Anybody not go yet? That was it? Don't be shy now.
Launcharts. Lee is an up-and-coming professional. Recent recipient of her bachelor's degree. Pursuing career in marketing communications. She's an intern with Launcharts. I'm trying to groom her towards public relations. Really trying to talk that into her, because we really eat. No, but Lee, I'm not, come on, you gotta talk.
I was gonna let you do that. But thank you for putting me on the spot. No.
That's what we're here for.
But I just really appreciate being here and meeting all of you guys. Like, just hearing everybody say something, today was really inspiring, and I love the creativity. Like, y'all could be the next, best thing. So, but about me, like you said, I'm a recent grad. pursuing marketing. And right now, I'm actually doing a little videography at my church. Yeah. So, and yeah. Look, I be on that camera, okay, getting all the angles. So I like being there. And yeah, I'm just pursuing my career further. So, and going back for my master's. So.
Before Semiatu go, I just want to tell y'all not in this space of Semiatu Day is in here. Semiatu Day is basically the co-captain of Launcharts Media. From our more humble beginnings, she's been a backbone to what we're doing and really our spiritual leader. Like people can definitely, if I'm pragmatic and sometimes a little bit more rigid, Semiatu can speak life into you, and whoever is around, she can really be that nurturing guidance. So Semiatu does operations with us. Semiatu is a enterprising individual in and of herself. And guess what? We podcasted a little bit. We tried to make, we did some content. We did live from Launcharts. Regis and Kelly, Regis Academy. We did our little live from Launcharts just to test run our equipment a couple years in the old offices. It's still out there. You can see us. And with our COVID haircuts and things. Semiatu, all right. You can go ahead and take it from there.
So I am Vice President of Operations here. This is my 4th year. Out of all businesses, Jamar has had me on the team. Well, I've stayed here for 4 years and counting. It has been great from just communications to now operations. What else am I doing? So I do know Nicole. We used to be church.
Yes.
We used to go to church together.
We went to church together,
and
right.
she was like head of video and I was head of audio. I am an audio editor, production. I love everything audio, so I'll just say that. I am also like to be in the background, so I don't like to usually talk. I just show up to the events. What am I doing? What else? Currently working in the community sector, working with women with children to make sure they have a place to stay, so a safety house that I work at. And then in August, I will be attending school to pursue a degree in human services. So that's as well as being on Yes, I have been in church, say 10, 11 years, 12 years. It's been a long time. It's been a very long time. So yes, the spirituality in my life is definitely top tier. So beautiful.
Glory!
Now, why you gotta say more about yourself?
Exactly.
I brag about him, man. He kept us out of the statistical, what's the word, ratios. 4 best friends, like brothers. He was the valedictorian of our graduating class.
Woo.
And we went to Cleveland School of Arts. So it's double.
Alumni.
Man with Georgetown University.
Class
alumni.
07.
That's right. 07. So how you
Dance major.
Remember us battle rapping around and stuff? Guys trying to be Dipset. Man, this guy, I can't say enough about him. But you can say more.
I think you said it all.
Georgetown alum, information technology specialist, Jones Day.
Used to rap.
Okay. Humble, man, humble. This guy can run for president. He got the credentials, and he has the voter makeup. His name is Juan Carlos Cejido. Black and Puerto Rican. He will wrap up the vote. He can be mayor. He can be every layer, every level. You know what I'm saying? He's got Ivy League education. This man can take. This man can go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But you wouldn't even know it because he's that humble. So humility is the word of the day.
Yes.
All right, y'all. So y'all know I'm real heavy. I want ham on the Avengers thing, right? You know what I'm saying? Art, but there's a reason why I want to do that, right? Like the Avengers came together, right? So we all here tonight. One thing I want to focus on tonight is that everyone here has a podcast or podcast adjacent, right? But I think that we're all storytellers, right? So if you've seen Sinners, if y'all seen the essence of the film, it was about how ancestrally, no matter your culture, you're telling a story. So I wanted to go around the room and have y'all talk about how your podcast tells a story and what is that story you can reflect. I know.
Ooh, that was a good one.
I know a little something.
Oh,
I did. Anybody want to take it first?
I'll go
Welcome.
first.
You go first.
Ladies first.
Okay, so yeah, my podcast, K-Talk Radio, that's what it was at first, and then it went to Back to Reality because through the years of when I was podcasting, like you said, it is telling the story, and I feel like I was telling the story of somebody that was young and in their 20s. Because I'm 25 now, so I had the podcast from like 20, Pisces. Yeah, so I stopped it when I was like 24. So through that time, you know, COVID and just life be happening, and that's why I changed it to Back to Reality. So I feel like when you listen to my podcast, you, like, a lot of people my age is going to relate to it because it be hard. Like, I know sometimes the old heads, we think we be lazy, but it be hard. Like,
I'm over here like that.
it's hard. It's hard, like, when you ambitious, but then, you know, it feel like we just entered a whole new world with how the how the pandemic just changed everything, and still trying to follow your dreams. So I feel like if you listen to my podcast like that, you'd be like, girl, yes, I understand.
What's an old head?
Old head. Okay. No. I feel like the aunts and the uncles be on our side. Like, I feel like aunts and uncles be on our side. The old heads, no shade, no tea, it's like 55. Okay.
I'm over here like,
Not yet.
Because the aunties and uncles happy that we changing.
Yes.
It be the old heads that be like, no, y'all need to do all of this, and that. No shade, no tea. My dad like 50 years. I do too.
I mean,
They crazy, but not my generation.
Then we want to be fast. So, you know, we can
My turn. All right, so the creative mindset got the foundations of two creators who took a pause. And that's like the foundation of it. So Donnie was kind of humble about what he does, but he's a published author. He's actually working on his second book as well as a poet. He's a speaker. He just hasn't performed in a while. So it started from like a 30-day challenge where I'm like, bro, me and you got too many talents and we don't post anything. So it went from a 30-day challenge to where he created segments of speaking and narrating, and then I created like a little thing where I was just riding in my car giving bits of game, which was For the Ride, which was a season that we did. And halfway to it, he said, hey, we should meet up, have a conversation, and talk about how those 30 days changed our lives. Those 30 days turned into a year, and we would just meet up at his Airbnb because he also does Airbnb arbitrage. And we would set up the cameras and just have a 45-minute conversation, and I would post the clips on the Instagram. And then people kept saying, yo, where the pie, where the pie, where the pie? And I'm like, it's not a pie. We're talking about
life, right?
We're just talking about life and how we create it. But then after the first 3 months, we seen ourselves kind of having the same conversation. It's just different things kept inspiring us. So over that time, while having those conversations, we also created Men in the Den, which is our nonprofit for the intergenerational healing space. So we wanted to let people know more about us because it's like we're in a generation where everybody's like, buy this, I'm selling this. But people buy personality now. So it's more so, and especially for us to open up and have a healing space for people, you need to know who we are. So we started out over last year being vulnerable with showing who we are to everybody else. And then it turned into the creative mindset because one thing we realized as creators, you face burnout. Sometimes you have those ruts when you can't do anything. Sometimes family life just take over, or whatever your job is, or whatever your hustle might be. But things always take over, and it kind of puts you in a rut, or you hit a speed bump. Like I always say, slow motion better than no motion. But we get those slow motion periods, and sometimes ego won't allow us to say it out loud. So we became transparent with it, and now the creative mindset, we're trying to see people who create just like us. What you up to? What's your process? How it affects your mental health? As well as funnel people to Men in the Den. And then we also have a sister company called The Daughter's Den, who focus on the women in a generational healing space. So everything is kind of based around creating mental health and seeing basically that we all are kind of like the same, even though we do things a little differently, but
I love that.
we face some of the same things.
A question, but comment kind of like. So, how can I be of service to the Daughters Den? And I would love for you guys to be on my pod too.
There it
Actually,
is.
the third
Cooperation.
So Donovan, did you grow up in East Cleveland?
Yeah.
Okay, we were down the street from each other. I'm Nicole. Nicholas, Deshaun.
You look familiar.
I was like, he looked familiar. So I love that. East Cleveland. Shout out to East Cleveland.
So as far as the Daughters Den, we can connect. I can get your information, and I can link you with the chair of the Daughters Den, and because she's from Cleveland, but she's stationed in Columbus, because we also do work in Columbus as well.
Okay.
But I can connect you, give you her Instagram information, and of course we'll be on your show.
I would love that. Yeah.
There it is.
So I guess that's a segue. I'll go next, right? So VIP with Nikki B. I think the question was, what's the story? Is that right?
Yeah, there's
the story behind it. So VIP with Nikki B. Actually a play on my name. As Timmy said, my name is actually Nicole, which means victory of the people, right? So I said, how can I make this work? Because VOP sounds crazy, right? So I was like, victory in people. And then my dad gave me the loving nickname of Nikki B. So my dad's last name is Baldwin. My parents were teenage parents. So I have my actual mom's last name, but he always called me Nikki B because letting me know that I'm his daughter, right? So I just put those things together, and that's the podcast. So I said, well, what else is there? I'm always seeing the potential in people, the positive in people, the lovingness about people, the victory in people. So, okay, where we see the victory in people, but most importantly, the most important thing is seeing the victory in yourself. And I definitely had to add that because for a long time, you all, I did not believe in myself. I didn't know my worth. I didn't know who I was, right? But once I understood and knew the meaning of my name, Nicole, like I was sharing with Kevin earlier, it just changed, right? I walk different when I walk into rooms. My words are different now. I'm very selective on when I speak and what I say or what rooms I go to because I understand the power. I understand my value and my worth. So when I heard you all talk about Daughters Den, right? I'm like, oh wow, that speaks to my heart because I also want to make sure that young girls, my metrics on my podcast and things like that say that I'm speaking to women from 25 to 45, which is interesting because my metrics is like 50-50, men and women. I was like, what? That's not who I was initially talking to. I thought I was only talking to women, but it's 50-50. So that let me know that people really need to know what that victory is, what that purpose or what that assignment or what that task is in your life. And those are the guests that I have on my show, individuals that have started a business because their back was against the wall and they learned so much about themselves that they're like, oh wait, I actually learned that I'm good at filming or I'm good at writing or I'm good at consulting, whatever that thing is. And so those stories actually come out in those conversations. So that's the reason why I started the podcast, because I didn't believe in myself first. I'm like, wait, I need to share this with other people and how I actually what I learned about myself and what I see in you all as well. So, VIP with Nikki B, where we see the victory in people, but most importantly, wanting you to see the victory in yourself. And then that has created other opportunities for me to host, have other podcasts. People reach out like, hey, I would love for you to be a co-host on this podcast, or I love what you're saying, or it's a certain frequency that we're looking for, or we want a sound of, and you have that. So I share this all to say as well, your gift will make room for you. Once you find that thing, and once you find that gift, you just keep walking. You probably don't know what the heck you're doing, right? But it feels good when you take each step forward, right? Because he'll light your path as you go. He didn't say you're gonna know all the things, right? He just said, I'll light your path. So take that step, each step. So VIP with Nikki B, where we see the victory in people, but most importantly, want you all to see the victory in yourself.
Come on, Nikki.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start in the beginning. Troop Nation is my name. My mom gave me the name Troop or Trooper. She told me I was the cavalry to save a lot of people. I put the last name Nation on it because I traveled so much where I heard stories from people around the world, or from Italy, Africa, and all over the States. I've been to almost all of them, lived in a few of them. And when I met these people, people just gravitate towards me and just talk to me, tell me their whole life story. And later on down the line, I went to college, and as you see, I always wore rockets and talk about space and the stars. I wanted to be an astronaut, but I settled to being a pilot. I went to school for aeronautics. And so the higher you go, there's no wars up there. There's no, animosity. There's no friction up there. So I love being in the sky, and everything is peaceful. So how can I get everybody to feel this peace that I feel? And when I got up there and you land, you like, I need to bring somebody else up there with me. So I'm like, hey, young rockets, are you ready to take off? I told that to everybody. You know what I'm saying? And because I took off and I believed in myself, and I'm a middle child of 12, right? So, it's kind of being left out of some stuff, and I had to find my own lane, and when I went to college, I did improv. I can create characters out of nothing. And with the Midwest Takeoff, I see people, I hear them, and I'm a professional listener, so I can hear it. I'm like, oh, that's a star right there. Oh, let's see if they want to take off. And I'll hear how you talk about yourself. And once I hear how you talk about yourself, and then I'll invite you onto the show. And some of these people here, such as Brandon, Teef, Brittany, have been on my show. And even guy right here in the blue, I forgot his name.
Sure.
Yeah, with the Creative Meetup, shout out to them. And I hear people's stories, and I'm like, oh, there's a star. There's a star in all of us. And like I said before, we all have a dream. And your dream is to turn it into a reality. I bring people on the show and launch them globally.
Amen.
Well, my podcast, Sip and Chill, I'm the host. It all started from an EP release party, and my thing is I love music, I love performing, I love entertaining others, but I also love being around people of like minds that want it just as much as I do. So it's all started off on Instagram. I was just playing my EP for people like during the pandemic. Mind you, we couldn't go outside, there was no shows. And I was just playing my songs for people, and they were like, this is great. Can you play my music? I was like, yeah, I can play your music. I can play your music. Just email me everything. So next thing you know, people were like, can you do this again tomorrow? And I'm just like, yeah, let's do it again tomorrow. But then I started bringing in different artists just to talk to them, just like, what inspired this song? What inspired this EP or project, And next thing you know, I just realized we might have something here. So I decided to look for a title for my podcast. Because at the time I was sipping wine and I was chilling. And I was like, sip and chill. We might have something here. But since then, I told myself, and I told my friends, I think I want to take this podcasting thing serious. Because I think I might have something that I feel like is bigger than myself. And though we started on Instagram, I've been blessed to meet so many people of like minds. I've been able to interview people like different artists. I started off with artists, producers, engineers, instrumentalists, rock bands. I decided I've got to start in Cleveland with Cleveland's littlest artists, whose budding is on the rise to the Grammy nominated songwriter. I was humble enough to go to the 2022 Grammys from one of my guests. Her name was Venus Leone. She's worked on different pilots from different TV shows in Hollywood. And I was able to just sit next to her at the Grammys, and she invited me. When I sat there, I knew that this is what I wanted for the rest of my life. Wow. Because I was just when I sat there, I was just nothing is impossible, especially if you're around people that want it as much as you do. But I had to learn and realize with the people I was hanging with at the time that you can't bring everybody with you, because they don't have the same dream or the same drive as you, and since then I've been able to just meet different people, go to different events, and I've had to learn how to get creative as well. And even being invited here, I was very humbled because I was just like, they want me here, they want me to hang out with y'all, you know, and it was just great, you know, and I've heard of quite a few of everybody's podcasts and what everybody does. And I will say I'm definitely a fan, and I'm happy to be here with all of you, you know, so yeah, so, and I just want to keep moving forward and just, you know, like Troop said, keep going up to the stars,
right.
you know.
I was gonna say this. I'm a fan of everybody's podcast here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know. I be watching. I be watching, and I'm like, oh, that's dope right there. Oh, that's dope right there. And y'all were here by chance. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all were here because I literally watch y'all podcast. I know you about to start yours, but I'm just saying, period. You know what I'm saying? But that's what like everyone here is dope. You know what I'm saying? So I want to put that out there. Like your podcast, I be watching. I'm like Kobe Bryant. Y'all ever watch Kobe Bryant's interview?
Yeah.
You like go watch the competition. Y'all competition. You know what I'm saying? But I be watching. I'm like, man, we gotta get everybody together. So that's why y'all here. Just want to put that out there. Appreciate it.
Okay, so the next question I want to propose, we all kind of have different styles, different ideas, different makeups as people. I would just love to hear some ideas of like how you market your podcast, how you get it out to people. I know this is one of the reasons why we're here is to kind of connect and collab with each other, but kind of I love hearing from other people how they kind of push it, because in my mind, I always thought just content. Like, I just seen the Breakfast Club drop every week, so I'm like, I have to do that. Yeah. Or I seen Joe Budden literally dropping every day or something like that. I'm like, how does he do this? So it's like, for me, that was kind of my idea, but I just wanted to take it to the floor on like, what was your thought process when you first started? How am I going to get this out there? Who am I going to be talking to? And kind of how I did that.
Word to mouth.
I was just about to say that, yeah. Word of mouth, because you can make content, but like I feel like people today be so stuck on the content and just posting. But I originally started my podcast because I went to Ohio Media School and I wanted to be on the radio to have, and I needed a demo room. So I literally used to have like postcards, business cards. I used to go to the radio station. I used to sit there like I was Rosa Parks just for them to like come out and hire me. But my friends that were in college, like Case Western or the one that's like in South Euclid, I forgot the name of it. John Carroll, yes. So they used to let me come and I used to pass it out in the dorms and stuff. I used to go to the malls where I work at.
You must have peeing down
Yeah, I used to be everywhere, and I have had like a couple of.
Don't forget she's 25. She's quite nasty.
No, I'm single, right? But yeah, word of mouth too, because of the job that I used to have. Like, it's not one job that didn't know that, like, yeah, this is my job now, but like I want to have a media career. So anybody who has ever worked with me, the Spine, Walgreens, whatever, they know that like this is just for right now, not forever. So I literally talk about my podcast until people just listen. Until they listen, right?
I would say for ours, we well, more recently we got with a marketing agency, Cleveland Garage, and they just like was giving us game on like how to market in general.
Yeah.
And like the virality that is in clips. Clips are king, content is king, and like with all the AI and the ability to chop up so many like really good parts from like whatever episode you have. I don't know if everybody like, you know, live records their podcast like on video and everything. Do everybody do that?
What you mean live?
Yeah, y'all video record?
Yeah, it goes live.
Yeah. So like if you like video or video record, live record, whatever, you pull from like whatever episode you have, like the most viral clips. I think the Russell was talking about this, like you pull 30 like really dope clips and you go through those clips like this is raw, this is raw, this is raw, and then you just like have to be consistent.
So you use AI to make the 30 clips?
Yeah.
So there's a And to piggyback kind of off what he said, so first to answer, yes, we use Opus clips.
Okay.
Yeah. Just if don't nobody know, you put the link to the YouTube video in there, chop it up. That's the key right there.
Yeah.
I was doing it by hand.
I used to
make YouTube.
And I will say, like, it just saves so much time. Because I was in there cutting stuff, and then if you want to get specific on your clips, then I would suggest putting them in the editing software and doing that. But if you trying to be quick with it, just throw it in there and just, But I will say also with the clips, because that was the thing I was going to touch on. It's very important in your pre-production when you're talking to your guests to make sure that you're researching them and you asking them the right questions, because you can't get those clips if you don't ask the right questions. So I would say most importantly, for like take your podcast serious and just make sure you draw out the best in them. Really be interested in your guests and ask them stuff that's gonna give them something to say that people are gonna, when they watch it, they touched by it and they feel some type of way, because that's how your stuff go viral. And you put that sound in there, that trending sound, whatever that. And they tell they start,
that music take you up.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then you just keep posting until you get something that hit. So
Something to share. So I'm new to this space, but one thing that helped me was cross collaboration. Micah Dixon, she has her group chat, and she and I connected, and we actually teamed up and did a Girl Talk group chat. It was really dope last summer. But I do have a benefit because I have a panel, so I can pull people with platforms and spaces and cross collab. But anytime you can cross collab with like-minded people who are in alignment with your vision and purpose, that's always a good look, especially somebody with a platform. Another thing I would say is do something different. So we feature female leaders. That's our focus. That's our target market. But this last one we did men. So some of the men here today were featured. So it's like a shock value when you can keep them guessing and keep them watching the next new move that you're gonna make. So anything you can come up with something new that's gonna add that shock value.
So I have like a piggyback question. What you just said, Nicole. So do you use some of your writing skills to help promote and prepare for your podcast as well?
So I am also a journalist, and it's probably what Nikki's referring to. So I do have an added benefit of having a gift. To be, I think Midwest Takeoff said, an intentional listener. You said do your research beforehand, making them feel comfortable. If you don't have that gift, get a team, get the admin people behind you, use AI. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely a tool to use. So I definitely prepare as much as possible, but also leaving that space for the vulnerable and the flow and really going deep and being genuine, wanting to hear their stories breeds that openness.
Because curiosity, having that curiosity, I think what you're talking about too when doing that research, having that curiosity to want to do the research, right? Not I got to research this person because it's my next episode, or it's on the way to 250, so I gotta just get it in. No, keep the passion, the compassion, and the curiosity to do the research, to have the consistency.
But also making sure they fit with your brand, and I think this is something everyone can relate to as an entrepreneur. I turn down clients all the time. I have a publishing house. You want to write a book, but does that fit with my brand values? And I've had to learn that the hard way. Do you fit with this space and where I'm going? Are you going where I'm going? Otherwise, we're going to be not in alignment. So
that's good.
So one of the things you guys talked about, Opus Clip. So I use all the AIs. Like I shared with some other people, I've been doing this since 2007. So I was marketing on MySpace. So I had to learn how to pivot every time new technology came out. And so I never kept the same thing the same way. So what I did was, when I learned about Opus Clip, I immediately put the link in and took out my clips, and then I clipped them again on CapCut. And then I put my brand on the end of it, and I put my logo in the middle, right there on the side, on the lower third. Why? Because I wanted to remember who I am. The second thing I did, when I cut the clip in CapCut, I always cut it off mid-sentence. Why? Why? Because I don't want to complete the sentence. I want them to catch what he's going to say next. And the next day, The next day, the other clip comes out. So like you were asking what they came out, I do live every Friday. Friday I have a whole schedule. Do the live, send it to Opus Clips, choose what I want to come out, and begin to migrate it out every through Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and everything like that. So that I know for Facebook, it's more the main people my age, old people. I'm just keeping it. I realize Instagram more of a younger crowd. TikTok is more of a fast pace. I get traction on there too. So I realize what message do I need to send to that particular to that demographic, to that particular app. But definitely cliffhangers, and also too inside of the reels, I also put pictures because everybody doesn't learn audibly. And so I put pictures in there to express what I'm talking about. Or if it's something funny, like you say with the guest or something, I'll zoom in on that person. So I do lift different things. That's because I do like Brandon do, or I've been doing, is I watch other people who are doing what I want to do. And why recreate the wheel when I can just watch what they're doing? We try to say, well, I got to come with the best idea. You do not. Watch what somebody who's doing successful what you want to do and repeat it. That's all I got. That's how I got to Opus Clips. So that has been working with me. And then the other part of it is, I'm not trying to reach everybody. I think you just said that. It took me a minute because I was chasing. I gotta get more followers. I was on the follower. Gotta get more followers. Gotta get more. And which is nothing wrong with that.
You gotta entertain the ones that's already.
I gotta get I gotta get the people who resonate with my message. And it took me a minute to say, you know what? Everybody's not gonna like LDA. Everybody's not gonna like me talking about gang. They said, how you gonna talk about church and spirituality? How that all mixed together? But it's not for everyone. And once I got clear on that, guess what happened? The people who want to hear me celebrate me. I think we were studying about the 1,000 true fans. If you can get 1,000 true fans who will buy, listen to you, do anything that you do, you will never be broke again.
Exactly.
1,000 true fans. They will buy your product. They will listen to you. They will do whatever you want them. A lot of times we're chasing the next, but we haven't cultivated the people who love what you do. So let me stop because I can go.
No,
Hold on, brother.
He better get out of that
I'm saying that because I think you guys are talking about the burnout. During the pandemic, I was hitting it every day for an hour plus during the pandemic. I was going, boom, boom, boom. Then I had a co-host, he was in Jersey. So we would tap in and go. So we burned out. I just said, I can't do this no more. I didn't know what to talk about. I said, well, we're going to do it Women's Wednesday. I ain't women. Just to, hey, what y'all think about this topic? Because I was burnt out and I had to stop. And I thought, if I stop, what's going to happen? They ain't going to like me no more. So I started going through internal conversations about if I stop. So I started doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I said, okay, let me do that. Let me just do Wednesday, Friday. That's why I said, you know what? I done gave enough content on here. Let me just do it one time a week. Do the reels and roll it that way. And that's it, because I had to honor myself first.
That's a lie.
What?
Recording every day.
Every day live during the pandemic, we was hitting it. 12 o'clock, boom.
Woo.
And then go to work after that. Shower and go to work. And we had people that came in and called. So you had people, hey man, what you think about when she does this? I'm like, but
leave her.
So it's right. So and that's another thing when you go live. When you go live, you have to be careful, especially on YouTube. Please vet the people you bring up. We have situations where people are brought. My buddies in California brought somebody up and the guy stripped down naked on camera. And so what happened is his channel got censored. No, it didn't get censored. It got they brought it down. They took it down. And so he had to go through a whole proof that he didn't know the guy. And then just the thing, I'm gonna tell you just the part of it. The guy who got naked on there is a top podcaster that we know. Not y'all know, but in the circle that I was in.
So he knew.
So he was doing, I'm not gonna say who it is.
Oh, wow.
So he did that to try to knock my boy's channel down. I wouldn't tell who it is. So that's the beauty of it.
Wow. I preface this because the Maven podcast is fairly new. It launched in October. And it was very, like, one of those things where I'm sure everyone has experienced where you just have that spirit, something dropping your spirit, like this is something I need to do. I have the idea, I have the vision, etc. And so for me, as far as getting guests, I just wanted to share that I really just use my network. Like, I know sometimes we can stress stuff like, oh, what new guests who are aligned or what have you, but truly, like, I just look to my left, my right, who's in front of me, who's behind me, who I knew just from previously working with, that had a beautiful story to tell. And just creating that space for that vulnerability and share. And then also just for me, my podcast has a dual effect because it was also very medicinal to me. And just me
that's the part.
Getting over my fear of public speaking, the whole night, like I literally just jumped in full force with it. But as far as getting guests, I just really tapped into my network. And then also, I'm not really technically sound. Like, I knew I didn't want to do any of like video or audio. And it was just beautiful how, like, when something drops in your spirit and it's meant to be put out, how all the puzzles come together so seamlessly, so beautifully. And I connected with someone, and of course, they weren't going to do it for free. I was willing to invest monetary value into the podcast, but then I also reached out to my network for like micro sponsorships. Like, seriously, like, you know, businesses that were aligned. I'm like, hey, are you willing to invest like $156 in exchange for social media exposure, etc. And I didn't even let the fear of me being a new podcast and not having the following deter me for asking for support. Because I know that, you know, sponsorships is a whole thing. It's a whole nother realm or what have you. And they want to see, like, especially the bigger sponsorships as it relates to, like, views and all that jazz. But I was like, I just got to ask, you know. And that really is how the Maven podcast launched and got out there. I would not have been able to do it just solo. Like, I'm like, I need help. I'm going to ask, and I'm just going to look to my left, to my right, who's in front of me, who's behind me, who's up, who's down, and who can be a part of the launch of it. So I just wanted to share that piece.
Nice. I want to echo that too about the sponsorships. We always get sponsorships for Girl Talk. It may not be the same amount, but we always ask, and the community does come together. Yeah. So just ask.
Yeah.
Just ask.
I agree.
I get sponsored tonight.
So I actually might have some.
Oh, bro?
Yeah, I just got no, for sure. I actually might have someone for you because, like, I want to piggyback off what these ladies were saying. You have to ask because it's important.
Yeah.
You know, I recently was humbled enough to get Crown Royal to sponsor my podcast for a show. Thank you. And it's funny. I met this guy. I'm sorry, y'all. I have stories for days. You know. I met this guy at this event at Academy Tavern. It's this restaurant on Larchmere, and I asked him, what do you do? You know, because I was looking for people to interview at the time when I was there, and he was like, I work for Crown Royal, and I was like, oh, okay, dope. So I bring him over, I talk to him, I interview him, you know, and I was like, yo, can I get your card? I want to bring you on the show. He was like, all right, how much does it cost? So I was just like, it's on me. Don't worry about it. And then next thing you know, it's just like me and him started being friends and stuff. He was like, we should work together. And I was like, yes, let's work together. Let's get out there. And he wanted to get Crown Royal out there even more because he works for their marketing team and the street team in Cleveland. And I was just like, all right, cool. Like, you know, I scratch your back, you scratch my back, you know, and then the rest was history. So.
That's right.
I think, let me say something. I think sponsorship is one side of it too. Learning how to monetize what you do.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, I think we talked about it outside, me and this brother right here, is learning how to get the sponsorships, but also to what merch could you sell? What items could you bring out there that your fans or people to listen to that will buy? so that you can cover the cost of doing the podcast. One of the things I didn't do in this long run that I had, I didn't seek a sponsorship, and then I put out books and other audio stuff. But what happened is I didn't make it a business. I forgot that I'm doing the podcast, I'm having fun, I'm doing Jersey, we chopping it up, and we bringing people on from around the world. We brought the person we were talking about outside.
Good or bad idea?
That was a bad idea. But the point is, I didn't realize that I was running a business. The people that we were talking about made it a business, and they're making millions.
Wow.
So I said, you know what? How are they gonna come on my podcast or come on a panel with me, leave and get my material, and now make millions? I said, I'm missing something. I forgot to turn my podcast into a business, and that's important. Well, I don't. A lot of us miss that, especially in this space. Turn it into a business. Get your money.
I know, that's right. The money right there. All right.
Oh, my bad. No, the other thing, you guys understand?
Who, me?
Yes, ma'am. No.
Sorry.
My bad. No. It's all about the business of podcast, but something about how AI is also part of the business and how it's now integrated in podcasts, and how much is it going to be AI and how much is going to be our human creativeness that still be in that portion of it.
Yeah. Well,
How AI taking over podcasting?
Oh,
it is. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. No, listen, I literally see today they create an influencer.
But I think
we know.
I mean, they're gonna be a part of the company. It's not like they're gonna take over the world.
Well, talk about that. They created an Asian influencer, and they took it from Asian to black, and they took her voice, they took her likeness and all that, and they created from that, created a whole podcast, created a script, and it was done.
I mean,
no human influence at all.
I mean, AI is taking over doctors, like they say in I don't know how many years, like they're gonna be AI doctors. I mean, because they're able to.
The robots already be doing
create
surgery.
that. Doctors, and it was something else. It was I can't remember. It was doctors or something else. Because AI is taking over. And AI is, I mean, ChatGPT. I mean, it's very intelligent, so it knows. You tell ChatGPT to do anything, and it does it. So it's kind of like AI and computers they're becoming so smart that they're able to entertain us.
If I could, because I got like a love-hate relationship with AI, so like to the extent of like AI, obviously, it's incredible benefits. I use ChatGPT on everything. Yes. I forget how to do stuff using ChatGPT. Who am I? But I use ChatGPT for a lot of different things. Obviously, just like type in long letters, whatever. And like, yeah, it is so smart. The funny thing about AI though is its intelligence comes from human experience. Yes. It comes from human design. It comes from human knowledge. Like what
you're telling it.
Exactly. What we've already done, it just quickly like gathers more information from other humans or what other people have done. So there is a significant limitation to what AI can do because it's always going to have for the most part, for right now, it's always going to need somebody to push the button, right? So the good part about like humanity is like we made an image of God and He's the greatest creator and He gave us the ability to be the greatest. Simeon got it. We locked in.
I'm in agreement with that.
But the one thing is, it needs less of us because of AI.
So one thing I heard, this is one African businessman I follow, Boosie. I don't know if y'all heard of him. He cold. Yeah. One of the things he said AI is amazing to an extent because it's going to allow us to be human again. We're not going to have to like take it won't be a 9 to 5 that we have to like be in there typing and getting reading charts and all this. Like things can be done in seconds to where we can get back to like this literal communication and talking about building and like, okay, AI is doing this over here. AI got the small stuff. How can we take AI or how can we take us and elevate like humanity? So I mean, we roll the dice. You
So
feel me?
let me say this with the AI. So AI, I watched it in Inception. I watched it where it is. I use it every single day. It makes thumbnails. It makes emails. It does everything. I can clone myself, clone my voice. It does all that. But the key for everyone here that's a podcaster, what's going to separate us from AI, is you being authentic when you get on camera.
Yeah.
They cannot duplicate
personality,
who you are.
Yeah.
So that's gonna separate. Even though we have AI, and people are like, I don't know, because I've been in a couple of debates about, well, you shouldn't use AI, and some people say you should. I'm saying is use AI, but when you get on the camera, be your authentic self, because that's what people are gonna crave in this time. Spaces like this, there's no one here that's an AI right now, is it? A robot, I don't know. But my point is because people are gonna crave human connection. So that's the rise of AI, like you were saying. People are gonna go, hey, let's get back to community. Let's get back to how do I interact? And they're gonna crave your authentic voice, your authentic whatever you have to say.
Might create more farmers, actually.
Yeah.
Like AI might create more people going out into the yard, having to like really getting their hands, like touching grass for real, like really getting their hands in the dirt. It might create that ability because we don't have to worry about X, Y, and Z as much as we used to. So it could be nice.
I mean, I think AI is a good thing, and just like you said, there's a love-hate relationship that you have with AI. I mean, I write things, and you want to write, because being human, sometimes we like write certain things, and we start using the word but. You're like, hey, put it in AI. Write what I wrote without using the word but with correct grammar, and it would send you back what you said, but you still have to go over it though. Because AI, it would sound robotic, and it doesn't sound like an actual human wrote it.
It's an AI that makes it sound real.
Yes,
that's the crazy part.
That's crazy. That is the crazy part.
Just,
that's the crazy part, and you got to put it in again. Because ChatGPT, that's $19.99 a month. Then you put it in, and it would make it sound. AI I even use it with jokes, like as far as I want to create something funny, I'll send it to my co-host. It's a joke, like a funny joke. I can't show you any of this. But AI is like every part of life now.
The thing is, for me, what the AI does is it allows me to learn and check my work and because here's the thing, the cliche with podcasts is anybody just starts a podcast and they're just rambling on and nobody watches it, right? Yeah. That's what at least a couple of last 5 years people look at podcasts and that's what the notion was. And what AI did was okay, no more excuses. You can rant, or whatever topic you have to talk about, you could do research. You could put your work in ChatGPT and be okay, tell me the real truth. Does this suck? Does people want to listen to this? Is there chronological idea to this? It allows me to really just be okay, tell me what I'm doing wrong here, because I'd rather learn and hear you for real, or you can tell me your bullshit, whatever things you said. I'm sorry, but because that's what ChatGPT does, right? The robotic voice. But if you keep talking to it and ask questions wait, are you lying to me right now? And, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Okay, so I should ask questions, right? So that has allowed me to be a better communicator, help me think, because one of the things I do is I ask ChatGPT, okay, what am I missing here? I wrote this and I thought this was good, but you're telling me I'm missing something here. So then it teaches me well, you didn't think about this person's perspective, or you didn't think about that, cultural, all these things. So this is not, and that has allowed actually, so I've not even done a podcast for a whole year actually, but we've gone into over 14, 15 countries around the world because we brought different guests, but also we tapped into their culture. And I asked questions that help their audience back home. I had people who are from Burkina Faso, it's a West African country. And I asked them questions about their childhood and their stuff that, you know, the process of coming to US and being a creative, like, or not having to be a creative the first couple of years because you're a janitor and then eventually you bought a house and all of these things. Now there are people, I have listeners in freaking Burkina Faso, like 30-40% of is from Burkina Faso. And so what I realized was like, I don't know much about Burkina Faso, but ChatGPT does. So let me ask the question.
If I can chime in from the other side of the room. AI accomplished what we couldn't do as a society. It pooled everybody's universal thought. Yeah. That's why it's so smart. Because it's just everybody's universal logic together. Now we have disjointment and we have division, so we weren't able to do it. Yeah. And that's all it's doing is pulling from a world of thought. Yeah. So if we didn't have this library of information, it wouldn't be smart at all.
Exactly.
So, you know, and the calculator predates all of us. Yeah. We've had artificial intelligence forever. You know, so you have to look at it as a tool, but you have to know it's not stronger than you.
Right.
And that's why our secondary logo is creativity, because we're the purveyors of literally God-given creativity.
Yeah.
We could always outwit artificial intelligence because we can just think of something that isn't in a library.
Yes.
So
let me say something to that. Even with that, I even use AI to create a clone of me, of my content. So say if a person who listens say, I want to get more on the subject that you talk with, I create an AI agent, they interact with that particular subject, I don't have to spend time with them. So it's so much you can do.
You fancy with it.
Hey, you've been doing this since
We the uncles, we the uncles, we got this.
So what you do, so what I do, so my AI is trained now with my brand, my 2 brands. So when I need to write a letter to somebody or interact with somebody on Instagram or something like that, write this as my brand voice, ... So I learned how to create the prompts. So it's easier, I don't have to repeat it. So we got it. So I look at an AI as a smart kid a smart little kid that don't know it's smart until you tell them. And that's how I interact with it. I have a whole agent, AI agent, with my content that if I send a link to say him, he say, hey, I want to know more about LDA in this particular subject. And it'll break down the...
I would say that I'm going to cut you off.
Go ahead, you good.
AI without the human touch, I see right through it. I'm a creative writer. Yeah. So I see all of a sudden I see brands, they're so verbose now. They give all sort of soliloquies and things of that nature. And I'm like, wait.
I have written stuff and then I put it through AI and I'll say make it sound, because you get tired. You're like, you're like, man, I cannot use this thing because it would just sound. You be like, it sound like a robot trying to sound conversational.
And then you can tell it to sound more colloquial. You can tell, and it just ain't colloquial.
Yeah.
Local terms. What I'm telling you, it would try, and sometimes doesn't work. I see right through it.
So what
I'm like, somebody's using AI.
So what I do,
you know what I'm saying? And so the ebb and flow of that is, if everybody wants to get paragraphy, then I'm gonna put out a post with like a couple words and really shake that, and really shake down to like a real down home sort of vernacular that's like even new. The coolest thing about black people is black and brown. That's my brown brother. But the coolest thing about us that we don't get credit for is we've rewritten the English language at least 50 times in the last 200 and some odd years. We've redone the language over and over and over again. And my child, how old am I? I always drop my hand. In my 37 years, we've said we don't say that no more. 10 intervals. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that's lame. That's out. You know what I'm saying? We still carry a couple words, but we are innovators. We're innovators. So AI, everybody's banking on AI. I'm not banking on AI. I use AI like a tool. Yeah. And then I say, and if everybody's going AI, guess how you're gonna stand out? By not going AI. Yeah. That's how you're gonna stand out.
Let me add too that I think Brandon talked about
Marvel at the beginning. You did something with Marvel. I tell people all the time, you gotta look at AI like Tony Stark. Tony Stark is the genius, and then he utilized that. What was the character? The computer Jarvis to expand on his genius, right? And the other thing that you just touched on. I heard everybody kind of tapping around it, but you just touched on it. Like most things, they forget and overlook black folks. ChatGPT can't speak like a black person. They can speak of a character of a black person. They can get these, but the other thing too is, my man said it, it's a medium. There's a middle. They're not going to be above the line. They're going to meet you right at the line. So their information, with all their gathering, they're going to give you that middle. So it's up to you. You're the secret sauce. So your juice is going to add that extra that makes it excellent. They're just bringing that middle ground. And just going off of that, I just playfully asked AI to speak in the voice of black. They'll give you JJ from Good Times or something. Sister, what are you talking about? It's not. I'm not reading that. You know what I'm saying? It's it's generic. So you have to be the shepherd of AI. You honestly have to. Anybody under our workforce who uses AI, I'm like, don't just use AI. Don't just send us if you're a copywriter or something. You're the secret sauce. If you just push AI out the door and you don't go back through it and change up a couple of lines, you're now the editor. Yeah. It's a newspaper, publication, and you're the chief editor now. But just like everybody used to be in the writer's room writing for you, the drafts got to run through you. You know what I'm saying? And you got to punch it up. And if you don't punch it up, somebody like me who has a very discerning eye for creative writing, I'd be like, that's fake as shit. I'm not even engaging with them because they're just churning out fake stuff. In my space, in my world of film and photographs, that immediate identifiers them doggone fingers. Y'all ever look at the pictures? Immediately when I use a ChatGPT picture or something like that. ChatGPT, speak jive. Low down, brother. I'm sorry.
I wanted to just tap in. I might have missed something because I went to the restroom, but I would say as a writer, AI is kind of a bad word in the writing world. But I've learned it as a tool and where it can be used as for my business, right? Which is what Lawrence was talking about. But it's not the source of our creativity. And I think that's what I'm hearing, right? So we're putting it in its space for us to gain visibility, for us to gain brand awareness. But that's a moral thing, right? Wherever your moral compass is, check in with that. But it can be used as a tool, but it's not my source. And I'm always going to be ahead of it because I'm tapped in with the source and I made in the image of the creator. So I'm always going to be creating outside of AI.
Because don't get me wrong, I write proposals so fast now. Because I have AI lay it out in terms of
But to be honest,
and I go back
and I think a lot of us in here resonate with that. My mindset is always to work hard. So sometimes it's a relief to be like, oh, I could put this through. I ain't gotta sweat. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tool again, but it's not my source.
That's what I depend on. I'll say this. So what I've done is I dumbed it down. So I said, write it as so a third grader will understand what I'm talking about. Y'all catch what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I'll put the juice on it, like you were saying, so that when people see it, they're like, "Oh, okay." They didn't know that it was structured so a third grader will understand it. But then I put the juice on it and put the meat and the bones on it. So it's just ways to do it. I'm not against it. I understand the moral side of it. I understand you need to still tap in your creativity. I just found a way to make it work for me.
Like a lot of authors that I favor, that I really like this author, I know how they write. I know how this author writes. Like Percival Everett, I know how he writes. I know reading one of his books. Like Jasmine Ward, I know reading her book. So it's kind of like AI but you would put some things that I've written in the AI, and I'm like, that sounds like, and especially with cultural things. It's just weird because it expects you. I think it's caught within different generations or something. Yeah. Like you said, we changed the way we talk a lot.
Yes, like
So it's like, and you like reading what you wrote. Did it just say the N word? Like, you know, it's like trying to add something else. So it's AI is a good thing and a bad thing. But AI is really good if you have like short projects.
Yeah, no.
The thing is that it recycles. So it's only pulling what's out there. I saw posts on LinkedIn from a well-known brand. I'm thinking that sounds like an article I wrote. And I had to think AI is copying my written material that I put out there because I don't have a way to stop that. And so somebody else is using that and they're repurposing and it's a line that I wrote.
Wow. You know what I think like is the bad part of AI is that a lot of people, the masses, don't have these rooms. So like the masses will be like hurdled into like the AI, like the complete AI. I was a teacher and these kids, ChatGPT obviously was out, and these kids were just like ChatGPT and like their whole projects or their whole like essays, and I'm like, you can't spell. Like you know the kids, like. You can't read. I know. Why do I have 16 pages? That's just me. So like the masses and another like level to it is like when y'all was speaking of burnout, like teachers, legit. I really like think on like how children are being affected by these like new resources. Teachers are gaining these abilities to use AI. Like teachers do not. Y'all got kids? Teachers don't create their lesson plans no more. It's a wrap. Oh, it's over. Oh my God. Because it's easy. Like you create 7 to 14 lesson plans on Monday. You don't do nothing Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Like teachers really stop working for real. It's kind of crazy. But so the children are being taught in this limited like purview of like what the teachers have created through AI, and the students are now being like are using AI to answer. So it's computers talking to computers. You know what I'm saying?
But I kind of agree with that because when I look at it, I think about being in school and doing a project. When you did your project, you're not going to do it verbatim. That's plagiarism. You have to put your own spin on it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much like the same thing. Like, okay, you're using it, but put your own spin on it, your own creativity, like everybody else was saying. Just using it as a tool.
Yeah.
Everything is real quick.
Gotta get triple OG.
9.
Come on.
Come on,
You gotta get low. Come on.
3, 2, 1.